Hello everyone, we choose the teacher Tatiana because she's incredible and her fun to teach theater is magic. She treats each of you as having a connection with the universe and Pachamama. And this is the most beautiful thing about the class because all time we are concentrating on other things and forget what is important.
Hello dear subscribe, welcome back to our channel. Grab your popcorn, your coffee or whatever helps you feel a little bit more artist today. Because this is not your night episode. Today we have a very ghost. And no, it's not everything you know about there again. So we are joined with something with actuality and life to stay. Beats theater and probably Jules and Cindy when our forgot lines, which happen a lot. She's powerful artist, a passion credit, and honesty that being timid in the best possible way another with the three word. Please hear a warm welcome to Tatiana! Woo!
Tatiana is with about an artist who has dedicated her life to theater here in Colombia. She works with stories and emotions and audience that, quite frankly, don't always see it quietly. Truth I subs somewhat cut that a part of the magic. Others perhaps mean called in lack of discipline. Today, you're discussing her journey, her creative process, and what it really means to work in theater. I must admit I remain skeptical and as for forgettingly begin a universal experience. Will in certain circles that less of a charming flat and more of professional concert.
Alright, I'm here. I don't hate Tatiana work. It's actually the most interesting thing in the room. And I commented on I endless. I tend to enjoy it. No, really, but I my job. She creates these rigs and I use the screen it. So no, it's not her old passion. But I must say sometimes her works alive. And maybe that's what frustrates people like me. We on the outside trying to employ it.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I truly appreciate the space and the opportunity to share a bit about my work. My name is Tatiana and I am a theater artist based in Colombia. My work focuses on exploring emotions, human experience, and the connection between the stage and the audience. For me, theater is a living space, something that mirrors change and invite people to feel, not just to watch. So it's an honor to be here and to have this conversation with all of you.
Given that your work often challenges traditional theatrical structures and embrace a more fluid, emotionally driven approach, something that has sparked both admiration and criticism. How do you justify moving away from established techniques that many consider essential to preserving clarity and discipline in theater?
I understand the concern, and I believe it stems from a deep respect for theater, which I share. For me, moving away from traditional structures doesn't mean rejecting them, but really questioning how they can evolve. Training in those techniques and they remain a fundamental part of my practice, but I don't believe theater should remain stable. The words change, people change, and the way we tell the stories must also change. What's impressive as the lack of structure is in my process. A different kind of the structure, one that produces emotional truth and relationship with the audience. I'm interested in what happens when theater feels alive, when it allows the space of unpredictability. So it's not about abandoning the discipline, but about redefining it in why it connects with the present moment. Furthermore, the way I approach the discipline is even more challenging for the students than others because it requires using the mind fully and creativity, which is so limited of many things.
That sounds very truthful. It really does. And this is exactly the kind of moment where I'm supposed to have a sharp, insightful repose, sometimes clever, sometimes critical. That's the special right. You talk about redefining discipline, about letting theater be alive, and see their trying to page that into near arguments for an audience that expects certain from me.
Okay, I think this is actually a beautiful moment because it shows how forward theater can be, right? It moves us in the challenges and sometimes it even makes your own no roles. Tatiana, I love to think in a slight different direction. Your makeup then feels very connected you to emotions, but sometimes there is something almost ancestral. Could you tell you how ancestral tradition, culture, or ever collective memory influencer your creative process and the stories you change to bring to the stage?
Thank you for that question. It's very close to my heart. Creative theater in Colombia means creating for a territory that is full of memory, ancestral, cultural, and deeply human. Your land carries the voice of indigenous people, Afro-Colombian communities, and generations that have lived through both beauty and conflict. In my work, I try to listen all voice, not they represent them in a literal way, but to honor their presence, their rhythms, their ways of understanding the body, the community, and the relationship with their land. Ancestral knowledge for me, it's not something from the past, it's something alive, it's the way we move, the way we speak, the silence we carry. So when I create, I'm not starting for zero, I'm starting for everything that can be for me. The stage become a space where those memories can rebuild again, where audience can reconnect with something that maybe they didn't even know they were inside. So yes, my work contemporary, but its roots are deeply tied to this territory and to the people we have shaped it long before use.
I find that perspective convivent, invoking ancestry and collective memory can be powerful, yes? But I can also become chill-fit and gaze critical. Um, to speak of honoring injuries and Afro-Colombian traditions, of letting those voice bridge round your work, but this is how that is done. Importantly, who benefits from it? Because from where I stand, there is a fine line between honoring and appropriating, between evoking memory and accessing it for an audience that many not share than history in any meaningful way. And you say your work is not literal. I wonder if that ambiguity allows you to talk about responsibility. If the references are not clear, if the structure is intentionally fluid, that what exactly are we meant to engage with? Emotion alone? Fear is In my view, should not only feel it should communicate with precision, other which we reach, turning deeply complex history and something atmospheric but ultimately empty.
I understand you, connoisseur, and I think it's important to question how stories are told. But I also think you're overlooking something essential. Tatiana is ready to appropriation the ancestral voice. Rather, she acknowledges that she's part of the story. In a country like Colombia, these memories aren't distant or abstract. They part of everyday life, whether routines or not. And I don't believe emotional empathy. In fact, for main combination, emotion, the body, and collective experience and forms of quality just as value as structured narrative. Not everything has to be expanded linearly or precisely to make sense. Furthermore, the unseen is the passive. They contribute their story, their interpretation, purpose the work discoverability and the answers. But that not means the shared responsibility. In fact, it may be inverted to answer to participate. Sebastian, your critics is something negative toward Tatiana. Do you think it's a fight or do you only focus on the bad things?
I feel that my job is based on saying my mistakes in very theater project. Really?
My job is not to criticize. I just want to live here.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me here. I like the space, I like comment my ideas. Thank you, thank you.
Well, there's subscripts. Instead of asking or leaves if the word is too ambiguous, verbs we should ask where or say. Why do we feel so uncomfortable with forms of theory that do not fit into the frameworks we are used to? Bye!